What's up, everybody? Professional wrestler Chris Wilde live here. I don't know for how long because I'm on that absolute garbage 5G network that Verizon Wireless has sold to all of us as being the next big thing. Anyway, it is game day. I just had a pretty awesome workout. Trying to get my mind off of today's game. It's been a busy ass week for me as well. What can I say about today? Tom Brady is, without a doubt, one of the best athletes to ever play any sport, and in my opinion, the greatest quarterback to ever play the game. And he's once again in the playoffs at 44 years old. A feat that, I don't know how much, how many others can say that or will ever be able to say that, even with the new NFL and the new rules that are involved there. We faced these Tampa Bay Buccaneers in week 6. Both teams are completely different. Obviously, the Bucs missing guys like Antonio Brown, Chris Godwin, Leonard Fournette is out for the game. Ronald Jones messed his ankle up a couple weeks ago. They're going to have some of their defensive guys back, like Levante David, like Jason Pierre-Paul, like Shaq Barrett. They're all coming off of injury. It is going to make it definitely hard on the Eagles' offense. What concerns me the most about this game, and look, we can say this all day, okay? I've said it throughout the week. I said it since the Eagles made the playoffs. I've said it since before when we wanted the Eagles to get into the playoffs. I told you, I'm just happy to be here, right? We're just happy to be here. This was a team that was 2-5, that was a laughing stock of the league, that had fans like myself upset. And then when I say that, I mean a diehard fans upset, had casual fans not even tuning in to the games. And these guys are an absolute afterthought. When we thought we were going to have to get another head coach after this year, we didn't know what was going to happen at quarterback. And everything was looking really, really down. It was during that time when Carson Wentz was going crazy in Indianapolis, which just made it look even worse that the Eagles traded him. And all we really had to cling on to were first-round draft picks. Now here we are, right? Into the playoffs. First round against the reigning and defending Super Bowl champions and the greatest quarterback of all time. The Philadelphia Eagles did not get an invitation to the dance. They just kicked down the door and went in there anyway. And hopefully they do just that, and that's dance today. Now they're underdogs. +8. They're big-time underdogs against this team. And again, rightfully so. All I've heard, but what annoys me the most, and I'm about to do it right here myself, is all I've heard about all week. Every major sports outlet, every major sports platform, whether it's the local radio, whether it's ESPN, NFL Network, it doesn't matter. All I've heard is Tom Brady, Tom Brady, Tom Brady, Tom Brady, Tom Brady, as if he plays every position on the field. And again, it's Tom Brady. It's the phenom of Tom Brady. Look, the last time he played us, his jersey was, I'm looking for something white. It was the whitest jersey I've ever seen. Like, he just put it out of a box. The Eagles could not get to him. But the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a great offensive line. And what scares me about that is our Eagles defense, that front four just doesn't seem to get to quarterbacks. I went to, I think, 6 home games this year, and the last couple, we're facing a guy named Gary Gilbert, we're facing Mike Glennon, real scrub quarterbacks, and the defense just had trouble getting there. That's going to be a big problem today, and if, no matter what happens, I think this is a Jonathan Gannon game. I'm not big on Jonathan Gannon. I'm just not. The defense, like I said, they just don't get pressure, and we can scream. Well, he's got to blitz all day. Fact of the matter is, they don't have any really good blitzers either. And if you blitz Tom Brady, he's going to pick you apart. Absolutely pick you apart. It doesn't matter who's playing wide receiver. We saw this in New England. This is just what this guy does. The only way you beat Tom Brady, and it's how the Washington football team did that this year. And yes, I can't believe it, but the Washington football team beat Tom Brady and these Bucs. They applied pressure. The same with the Saints. The Saint team without a quarterback shut out the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They beat them earlier in the year, and that's how they did. They applied pressure to Tom Brady. They got to him, and that's the only way that you win this game. You go to the offensive side. The title of this is Jalen Hurts Speaks to the Team. I just read a tweet from John Clark of NBC Sports Philadelphia, and he said that, the Eagles before these big games have had their captains speak. We've seen the Jason Kelsey phenomenal speech that he had that, gives you goosebumps when you hear it. And they said this one by Jalen Hurts was the best out of all the captains. To me, that's saying something because Kelsey's was epic. and that basically he said that he loves his brothers, and his message was, "We will not be denied." This kid is 23 years old. 23 years old, the youngest Eagles quarterback to ever start a playoff game. He was 3 years old when Tom Brady played in his first Super Bowl. This kid just has that it factor that makes you want to think the Eagles can win this football game. It's unbelievable to me, and I've kind of doom and gloomed it the whole week. Okay, well, we're going to lose, but at least we're here. And then you just hear these things by this kid, man, and it's like, it makes you want to believe. And another guy that makes you want to believe is Nick Sirianni. Think about this. Before Nick Sirianni ever called a play for this team, there were national and definitely local people hated this guy because of one press conference. The national media said he wasn't ready to be a head coach. He was bizarre. We heard this guy was talked so bad about, like he slept with somebody's mother or he stole money from somebody. That's how bad that they were talking about this guy. And he starts off kind of slow, gets that win in Atlanta that wasn't expected, then kind of starts off slow, makes some bad calls, says some weird things, has that flower power speech that really ignited this team. And one of the things that I heard about Nick Sirianni one of the big complaints about Nick Sirianni before the Eagles ever played a game, before they ever suited up was, I look at this guy and I just don't think players are going to get behind him. I just don't think players are going to believe in him. I don't think players are going to fight for him. Like Dan Campbell, who was talking about chewing people's kneecaps off and having lions at practice. And he's a football guy and this is a leader of men. And I looked at that and was like, I don't understand how you can say that about a guy you don't know. You have absolutely no idea about. And come to find out, these guys are what turned that season around. I know we can look at the schedule and we can say, well, they played a bunch of bums. Yes, but other teams had to play these same bums too. Other teams had to, look, the Jaguars beat the Colts at the end of the year. The Raiders beat the Chargers at the end of the, like, this is not a league where whoever's supposed to win just wins anymore. That's not the way it works. But Nick Sirianni, if these players didn't want to play for Nick Sirianni, these veterans like Jason Kelsey, that's got a Super Bowl ring, like Lane Johnson, that's got a Super Bowl ring, Fletcher Cox, if they didn't want to play for this guy, they could have easily just said, you know what? I'm not going to bust my ass and get hurt for a lost season. I'm just going to wait for next year. But they didn't. They fought, and they're here. And that's why they're here, because they fought and because they got behind this coach. And I think that says, it really says something. Now Nick Sirianni showed like Rocky clips or something yesterday. And of course, that's Nick Sirianni. That's who this guy is. I think that's why this team likes this guy. He's nonstop 100% football all the time. And I'm really anxious to see, and you look at yesterday's games, the Bengals and the Raiders, and then the Bills and the Patriots. And it's like, do you want, if the Eagles are going to lose, do you want it more like the Bengals-Raiders game where, the Raiders still could have pulled it off? Or do you want it just to where it's a complete and utter mess like the Patriots getting blown out by the Buffalo Bills? I think it's going to be a game that is not like either of those games. I just feel like, I got to be honest with you, I just have this feeling, man. I just have this weird feeling because, again, I say this message to, in the wrestling business or the people that I talk to. The most powerful word to me in the English language is can't. It's such a powerful word because if you tell somebody they can't do something, the effect that it's going to have on them is powerful. You're going to have the people that you're going to tell them they can't do something. They're going to put their head down. They're going to put their tail between their legs, and they're going to let that absolutely destroy them, and they're never going to be able to get over that. Then there's people that you tell that they can't do something, and they put their head down, but when they put their head back up, there's absolute fucking fire in their eyes. And I believe that this team of Eagles have that fire. I believe Jalen Hurts has that fire. I believe Nick Sirianni has that fire. And there's just so many players on this team that they have listened all week long. Can't. You can't do this. You can't keep up with the Bucs. You can't beat Tom Brady. You can't make this a competitive game. You can't go forward. It's just been such a big word for this team this entire week that I hope they bring that passion and motivation that I feel right now. And I hope that when we watch this game, that when the going gets tough, they don't get going. I hope they stick with it. Look, let's be honest. The only way that the Eagles win this game is they have to play their best game of the year. Liz, what's going on? She says, we're all with you on this feeling. Yeah, and it is like we have been denied from the start. And again, there's a lot obviously, there were so many questions about this team. And when you watch a game like when they played against the Raiders or they played that first game against the Cowboys, you're like, oh man, this team is so bad. But the team changed. I leave you, like, I bring you to this. Week 6 against the Buccaneers. Jordan Howard wasn't even an active member of this roster. Lane Johnson wasn't playing. Dallas Goedert wasn't playing. Boston Scott, I don't believe he even touched the ball. Miles Sanders, I think his first touch might have been in the third quarter. This was a completely different offense. It was a completely different team than what it is right now. Devontae Smith, I mean, he was only 6 games into his NFL career. He was really just feeling his way out. And that's another guy, man. You talk about big games. Now, obviously, we know Jalen Hurts played horrible in one of the national championship games. Then in another one, came back and won it for the team. But these guys, some of these kids, and I say kids because they're young kids, have played in big games. Devontae Smith, national championship game. What do you have? 3 touchdowns, 200 yards in the first half. These guys, like, I don't think the moment's going to be too big for them. Landon Dickerson, guys like that who've come from these big programs and these big games. And I really think that doubt and denial can be a motivator, man. I really do. And again, it's just, to me, the scariest part of this game is the defense. It's just, I just watch them against bad teams, and they let these guys, like, again, Gary Gilbert, like, the game should have been wrapped up well before the first snap. And that game against Washington, I mean, we sweated out until about the fourth quarter. You know, the first half against the Giants was horrible. They actually lost to the New York Giants once. And Seth, yeah, that was only a 6-point loss, but that 6 points felt like 60. I think once the Eagles put on, I hate to use the word garbage time, but I think a lot of those points were kind of in garbage time for the Birds. What's going on, Jerry? But this is just a different team, and this is a different Tampa Bay team, too. I mean, you're looking, their starting running backs are going to be Keyshawn Vaughn and Le'Veon Bell, who was, like trying to be a boxer a couple weeks ago, and now he's going to be in a playoff game. But, again, it's just, Tom Brady can make these average guys, he can make them millions of dollars. He has. They still have Gronk, who did not play in the first game. I think that it does help the Eagles out that they played against the Bucs the first game, but this Buccaneers coaching staff is so good. Todd Bowles, probably the best defensive coordinator out there. Bruce Arians, he's been there. I'm not going to say he's the best coach because, again, when you've got a guy like Brady on your team, Brady's kind of a coach too. But they're just so good. Byron Leftwich, and again, I really put Brady into that coaching staff because Brady does what Brady wants to do. And Jerry says we've been the underdogs before. We've been in a situation like this. We need to stay focused and play smart. Yeah, just play your game. Just play your game. And like I said, like, there's a lot being said about the Bucs. The past 6 games or 5 games, they've let a lot of teams get over 100 yards rushing on them. Now, again, you got to understand, Levante David's been hurt, Shaq Barrett's been hurt, Jason Pierre-Paul. A lot of these guys are back today. They're back today, and they're in the playoffs, and this is what they do. They've been here. They've done that. We remember last year. But it's going to come down to, this game is going to come down to 2 people. It's going to come down to Jalen Hurts, and it's going to come down to Jonathan Gannon. And yes, Fournette is out. And that's huge for them, I believe. A lot of people are making something about the weather. There's going to be no more rain. It's going to be kind of doom and gloom. There are going to be heavy winds. Tom Brady played in New England through all sorts of insane weather. This is not going to faze him. And actually, I don't want the ball to be wet in, like, Miles Sanders' hands. Or even Jalen Hurts' hands. I don't want that. We've seen these guys fumble before. I don't want that. In order for this game to stay close and for the Eagles to somehow pull off this miracle is going to be, they got to play mistake-free football. And I've heard all season long these guys say, even during wins, like, we haven't played our best game yet. This is it. I'm not going to be streaming the game play-by-play. I get very emotional during these games, and we'll be watching it with my father. I get very emotional during these games where I just can't have the distraction of the live play-by-play. So I will be watching with my father as we started this a long time ago, watching all these games together. And I don't know, man. I just have this, like I said, guys, I just have this crazy feeling right now. I don't know. It's not confidence. It's not like, it's just this weird buzz going on. And it's exciting. And I really just, honestly, I would love to see this team play another week, man. I just would. This team, and you look at Jalen Hurts and everything that's been said about him, and this guy is, and I hate to bring up Carson Wentz, guys. but he is a big part of our past and our future now that we have this first round pick. But I didn't get this confidence from Wentz that I do Hurts. He's just, the kid he just won't quit, man. He's just not a quitter. The running game is absolutely going to be the key, but here's what I'm thinking. Todd Bowles is, like I said, one of the best defensive coordinators in the league. He's gonna find a way to halt the running game the Eagles have, and it's what the Eagles do to counter that. That's the big thing. I want to see a lot of Dallas Goedert. I think Dallas Goedert is an absolute superstar. He's a stud. I want to see a lot of him, and I want to see a lot of Devontae Smith. Give me Alabama Devontae Smith. Now, we haven't really seen that this year because he's a rookie and he's learning with Hurts. Like, it's not like he got put into a system with a veteran quarterback. These two are kind of growing together, and I would just love to see him dominate this game and take this game over. And if whoever wins this game, I believe, well, if the Eagles win, I believe they will play the Packers, but my mind's not even there at all. But if Devontae Smith can take over this football game, and we get this game that I think that we should have from him this year, I mean, Quez Watkins has got to be a key too. Because like I said, this running game, there's going to be a part of the game where it's not going to work because they're going to be ready for it. Boston Scott, I was watching some tape and I'm like, man, Boston Scott they're just plays where he's just so good. Again, for him not to touch the ball against the Buccaneers the last time we played is kind of crazy. Jordan Howard, hopefully he's back to almost 100%. I am a little cautious about Miles Sanders. I think he does make the team better. I'm glad that he's back, but he does have that ball control problem and issue, and with a broke hand or a hurting hand, the Buccaneers are going to be smashing that thing all game long. So guys, it's just, I mean, man, what a feeling to be here. And I'm going to get off here because, I mean, I could talk about this for hours, but I got to get some stuff ready for game time. And Scott turns it up whenever he's put in positions where they need him. He always comes through. And Nick Sirianni, please don't get cute. Do what got you to the game. This has got to be 100% perfect game from all sides of the ball. Special teams, and by the way, special teams, I hope Jason Huntley is active because, yes, it was a throwaway game against the Cowboys a week ago, but he was the best kick returner that we've had. The guy just looked good doing it, looked way better and more comfortable than Jalen Reagor. Please put him out there. And nothing against Greg Ward, but Greg Ward he fair catches every single time. Get Jason Huntley out there. Special teams got to be good. Defense, guys, again, the last game against the Bucs I watched, they just couldn't tackle. There's missed tackles everywhere. They've got to be on point, man. And then just another thing too, and I keep on thinking about the last game against the Buccaneers. It was Thursday night because I was there. Do you realize that linebacker, Eric Wilson, who's not even on the team, was a starting linebacker for that team? Desert Eagle, what's going on, man? This is just two different teams. This is a different Eagles team, and I really hope, and it's worked in 2017 with the underdog being our mascot. I really want that to piss them off coming into this game. Because it absolutely irritates me that they're still being laughed at and still being looked at as, this is a bye week for I almost said New England Patriots, for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But yeah, I'm not sure if Josh Sweat is going to play yet. I think he's a big key to this thing too. Just get their defense. And Jalen Hurts, you're on national stage in the playoffs. Show all these people why. Show all these people why you've been able to prove them wrong. And look, guys, I'm a big law of averages guy, all right? The Eagles have not beat a winning team. They have not beat a playoff team. They have not beaten a good quarterback, for God's sakes. Law of averages say it's got to happen at some point, right? It's got to. What a day it would be if this could happen. And I'm just going to go back to something I said. If you weren't watching earlier, I'm going to go to something I said to leave you guys with. First, I want to show, I got this, I can't even do it on here. I got this tattoo earlier in the week. Obviously, it's an eagle. You see the green on the head and kind of a greenish bluish color in the eye. It wraps all the way around the arm. Big shout out to Ray from Walls of Wonder in Dover, Delaware, for that. I just, it was like, man, maybe I should get another jersey. And it's like, no, I'm never going to not like the Eagles, no matter how bad they are, no matter what this game is like today. So I got the tattoo, but I'm going to leave you guys with this. I said the most powerful word in the English dictionary, thank you, Liz, in my opinion, is can't. There are people you tell can't to that'll put their head down, tail tucked between their legs, and let it destroy their life. Then there are people that you tell them they can't do something, they put their head down, and when it comes up, they got fire in their eyes. And I believe Jalen Hurts is going to have the fire in his eyes. I believe this team will have the fire in their eyes because they've been told they can't do it. All year long, they've been told they can't do it. And coming into this game, they were told they can't beat Tom Brady, they can't beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and they can't do shit in the NFL playoffs. Let's prove everybody wrong. Let's show them why Philadelphia is a city and a team of fighters. We've been fighting this whole GD year. We've been just to be respectful. And let's let this law of averages get into play. Let's beat Tom Brady. Let's beat a good quarterback. Let's beat a good football team. And I don't care if it's by 3 points or it's by 30 points. Let's get this done today so we can talk about it next week. And if they don't, it's been one hell of a season. This has been absolutely fun, and I'm definitely proud of this team. With that being said, guys, I got so much to get ready before game time. Everybody stay safe, stay healthy out there. Go Birds. Let's get this win. If you're going to church today, put in some prayers for these Eagles. I'll see you guys later after the game, win or lose.